So, today's topic, be vigilant. Advertising has substantially changed from when I was younger, and I'm going to go into it. But we're bombarded with ads from every little thing that we do, from opening up our iPhones or whatever kind of phone you have. You'll see tons of little apps. Those apps are many little advertisement. Open your email and you're going to get tons of emails from advertisers. Walk out your door, the bus is going to be passing by, cars with ads on them, storefronts, tons and tons of advertisements. Every little thing you do. Look at your text, boom, Rite Aid is writing you. They have the flu shot available. Yep. Tons and tons and tons. And then there are the countless calls. The dealership is calling you. They want to buy your car. How is the delivery? Let's get into it. I found this so interesting. The number of commercial breaks have drastically changed from when I was a kid. So in the 50s and the 60s, early TV shows had about 2 to 3 commercial breaks. So I was born in the late 60s. Had 2 to 3 commercial breaks for an hour-long show, with ads typically running around 1 to 2 minutes each. Think about that for a second. Can you imagine? None of us would need to pay to get rid of the commercials that show up on the streaming services we use. In the 70s, the time the shows like Dallas and All in the Family, those were like an hour. They were like 3 to 4 commercial breaks. So 12 to 15 minutes. So of the show, shows usually ran for about 48 minutes. Then you get to the 1980s and 90s, and the networks began adding more commercial breaks. 4 to 5 breaks for about 15 to 18 minutes of ads. Jump to the 2000 to present. Ad for hours have grown. 6 to 8 commercial breaks totaling 20 minutes. So a typical runtime of a show, of an hour-long show, is now 40 to 42 minutes. So this is today. And back, I think, when Dallas ran, I think it was 48-minute when Who Shot JR? Because I asked that question the other day. I thought it was interesting. Now let's go to the number of ads that we see in these. So in the 1960s, daily amount of ads you saw were about 500 to 1,000 ads a day. Monthly were about 15 to 30,000 ads, and yearly were 180,000 to 365 ads. And these ads were coming mostly from television, radio, newspaper, billboard, TV, but the breaks were much shorter. So the print ads were primarily in newspapers. Jump to the 1970s. Instead of the daily 500, now with their daily 1,000 to 2,000. Instead of the monthly 15,000, we're now at 30,000 to 60,000 ads. Instead of the yearly topping out at 365, we now start at 365 and go up to 730,000. So that was the 1970s. TV was the biggest source of entertainment, so everybody was watching TV back then. Radio, print ads were still played a large role, and then there was a lot of magazines that people were seeing a lot of ads on magazines. Jump to the 1980s. This is kind of when I grew up. You go, instead of the max being 2,000, the daily rate was now 2,000 to 3,000 ads. Monthly, instead of topping out at 60, now it starts at 60, and it jumps to 90,000 ads in a month that an individual could expect to see during their breaks. Yearly, instead of topping out at 730, now yearly was 730 ads to 1,095,000. So this mostly came, cable TV was real big in the 1980s, started coming in. I think you had a lot of shows. I don't know when MTV started, but I think it started in the 90s maybe. But that's when people were watching more commercial. Billboards became much more prominent at that time. A lot of, people were doing, a lot of people in the household had cars at that point. Everybody was driving. Jump to the 1990s. Same thing happens. That was the Daily Max for the 80s, becomes the starting point for the 90s. So now it's 3,000 ads to 5,000 ads daily. The monthly is 90,000 to 150,000. Now, if we went back to the 1960s, I believe the 1960s topped out at monthly at 30,000. So the 1990s were 3 times that amount, and going up to 150,000 ads in a month. The yearly now is 1,095,000 to 1,825,000. So that's the 1990s. The internet was introduced in the 1990s. And then, of course, they had a lot of more digital advertising that started with the internet. So there was many more ways besides TV. And of course, they still had a lot of print ads. Radio was still prominent. I still remember the radio stations. So you're constantly seeing ads, hearing ads. So everything you did was ads. 2000s. In the 2000s, we jumped to 5,000 to 8,000 ads daily. Monthly, we go to 150 to 240,000 ads in a month. You could expect to see as an individual. Yearly, the top end of the 1990s becomes the bottom end of the 2000s. So 1,825,000 to 2,920,000 ads that you could expect to see in a year. Now, this was coming across all different forms of media. So they had TV, and then, of course, they had banner ads, they had email marketing ads. Now they have internet and digital advertising. So these kind of things were like really going bonkers in the 2000s. Jump to 2010, because 2010 we're at 8,000 to 10,000 ads. Monthly tops out at 3,000 ads, so it goes from 240,000, which was the top. So it literally goes 240 to 300,000 ads you could expect to see in a month. Yearly starts at nearly 3 million to 3,650,000. So it's 2,920,000. And this is all, 2010 was social media started, target ads online. Now you're getting it on mobile phones. I didn't get it, mobile phones, you're now getting it. And then, of course, you have streaming services are starting. I think Blockbuster is gone at that point. And, of course, you're still having it through TV, print, and still having it through, digital media as well. So digital media, print, everywhere. It's everywhere. Jump to 2020s. Daily ad jump, you're seeing 10,000 to 15,000 ads a day. A day. Monthly, you're going 300,000 to 450,000 ads in a day. And yearly, 3,650,000 to 5,475,000. So this is really due because now you're seeing more, obviously, with the phones. The phones becoming really prominent on getting the ads. Now, Facebook is during this time frame. Facebook, I think, got hit with a $5 billion fine because if you have Facebook, you're the product. They're selling you to advertisers. So you're not paying for it, but you're paying for it because they're getting you to spend money. And now ads are much more targeted than they've ever been before, because think about it, what you're getting in your email box is very different than what you would have put on when you put on JR. So Who Shot JR? That was like probably one of the top rated watch shows at the time. And although I don't even think I actually really watched it, but it was top rated. And yeah, now everybody wants your attention. But sure, you're splitting it with the yearly of 5,475,000. So of course they want it. Now think about this also. Something like YouTube, you're getting ads, but now you also have the targeted ads. So you have these social media is like insanity. So you have influencers who are selling you ads. Then at the bottom, they're selling you items. They're selling you courses. Everything that is being done is like, now I could block. I pay for the YouTube because YouTube is my primary source, and I figure it just saves me the hassle. But I pay for not just see the commercials, so I'm eliminating some commercials. But really, how many? I'm still subjected to all the ads that are being targeted. So obviously, if I'm watching someone who's putting an ad on, it's something that I'm interested in watching, right? So if I'm watching financial content, right? The next thing you know, somebody's trying to sell me coffee. So I like my coffee already. I don't need more coffee. So that's what's going on. And then it's not only things like that. Oh, I had a light go in that direction because I thought I needed it. It fell on the floor. So it's not just the ads from, oh, 1 second, I'm going to hit pause. Unpause. So it's not, where was I? It's not just the ads that are being marketed to you from the advertisers, like putting their, the cars coming across the street. Yo, you're looking in the market for a car. They know everything about you. They're tracking every little thing about you when you're on some of those sites. So from the, everything. I don't know, read the article. It just actually didn't read it myself, but from my understanding, they got hit with a $5 billion fine because of the kind of information they're gathering on their users. So I'm not on Facebook. I've never been on Facebook. I just felt like, to me, it was a chore. YouTube doesn't feel like a chore. YouTube gives me opportunity to talk about things that I like, topics that I found interesting. So, but I don't like all the advertisements. It drives me bonkers when I'm watching someone and then all of a sudden they start to get, I feel like it's enough that you get AdSense. I get it. Some people need to make an income. I don't fault them for that. If this is what they're doing for their careers and they really want to be a YouTube star and that they want to make their money on social media, fine. But when I'm listening to something, it's like all of a sudden, like, you could be like, oh, this lip gloss. Oh my God, if you're going to use it, this one isn't even the best. And they might not even be doing a commercial. And might not even be doing a plug. But the next thing you know, you're going into the store and you're like, oh, they mentioned that lip gloss. Oh, I'm at Wawa. Let me try their coffee. So that's what happens. So you're being marketed and hearing advertisements just from watching people on social media or living their lives. Like for me, I already mentioned my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So that's a tiny little advertisement. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make anybody buy coffee, but that is literally what's going on. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Be vigilant out there. Realize that you're being bombarded with over 5 million ads a year. It's probably going to continue to get worse. The commercial breaks were so much shorter back when I was a kid. Now, additional 8 minutes. It's every little thing that we do. I mean, I'm sure I'm not even covering the tip of the iceberg of how, like, you walk out of your door and the next thing you do is, even if you're walking into Rite Aid, for example, you're bombarded with every step that you take. Now, obviously, you're walking into an area where there should be content to see, but everything we do, everything. You open up LinkedIn, ads. You open everything. It's too much. No wonder why people are spending their money and having a really tough time. It is so marketed to you. Anyway, be vigilant out there. Know that you're being targeted to be buying all this stuff you don't need to keep you back in the cycle of having to go to work, to a job you're tired of going to, that you're exhausted, you want more than 2 weeks vacation. Start saving your money. Get if you want to get out of the rat race, stop being sold. Be on high alert. Know the marketers are out to get you, and just like, bam, bam, I'm not being sold to today. I got past another one. Yay, yay. Anyway, keep your money. Don't give it to all these businesses. Don't give it to other influencers out there, and don't hit and click links and buy products, and only buy what you really intended to buy. If you're not in the market for a lip gloss, don't buy a lip gloss. Start making lists of what you're going to buy, and then keep an eye out when you see it at a good value or when you've saved for it. Anyway, be vigilant, and I'll catch you in the next one.